Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of Undercover Punch and Gun, a Hong Kong action flick from 2019 that stars Philip Ng, Andy On, Vaness and Luxia Zhang. Now, Philip and Andy previously teamed up for one of my favorite action movies of the 2010s, Once Upon a Time in Shanghai, so I'm always excited to see a new collaboration between them. I also think that both of these actors are kind of underappreciated and underrated in the Hong Kong film industry. And there's been plenty of occasions where either one or both have been wasted in films. So let's see what we got here in Undercover Punch and Gun. Plot here, pretty simple, man. It is. You get an elite cop who's working undercover to infiltrate a notorious drug ring. His plan is compromised when a rival agency with a grudge attacks during a trade, killing the gang's leader. So both teams are forced to unite in an attempt to overthrow the ruthless smuggler behind it all. Now, as you might expect, the story of Undercover Punch and Gun is mediocre at best. There's actually not much to talk about. It's basic cop stuff here, folks, with a number of side characters that the film kind of touches on. Now, the story exists basically to bridge the action scenes and create a core conflict. At times, the tone of the film is lighter. At other times, it gets dark. And I think this film, outside of the action scenes, is at its worst when it tries to be serious and dramatic, especially in regard to the deaths of certain side characters. Now, I do give the film credit for killing some people off in this movie, but they try to make it like melodramatic, and it doesn't really work. The script isn't strong enough to accomplish that. Performances are okay overall. Nothing really noteworthy, but I like a lot of the actors in this, so that's good. Nicholas Che has a minor role, doesn't do much of anything. So I felt like he was wasted in this. You know, nice to see him, but why bother even casting this guy if you're not going to use him much? And even despite these flaws, it's only a 90-minute movie, and it's an action flick, and we get enough action. So, you know, you can watch this movie for the action alone, all right? What about the action? I think it's pretty good, okay? We get a fun scene to start the film. Begins with like a weird sonic vibration cannon or something, and then it immediately throws in enough martial arts and gunplay to satisfy for an opening sequence, with Philip Ng taking the lead in this particular scene. Always liked this guy, and watching him here still proves that he's got the speed and skills to be an action star. So a good start to the film. There's a short scuffle involving Andy On after that. You know, a decent introduction to him. Not particularly long, though. I would have liked that scene to be extended. But then there's another bigger set piece in the middle, with more fighting, shooting, and an amusing car chase. And the driver of the car is quite odd. You don't see that very often, and I kind of appreciated that. All three male leads get to participate in this middle set piece, and the highlight is probably the 2-on-1 fight involving Philip Ng. And then we get the big finale, where Luxia Zhang shows up. She's like in the movie at various points, and she does get a decent amount of screen time in this movie. She participates in a few of the shootouts throughout, but she only gets one good hand-to-hand fight, and that's in the finale. The same actually goes for Andy On, who gets a decent amount of screen time. He's involved in some of the shootouts, but he only gets one, like, legit hand-to-hand fight during the finale, okay? But this is an effective climax to the film. There's even like a flashy knife fight involving Vaness, who I liked in this film. He gives us some of like the comedic relief, but he can also move pretty well. So he was pretty good in this. And then you get a final duel involving two of our leads. Not an instant classic, but it's a good final duel. The weakest part of this finale is the sniper fight. You get some of the ladies participate in a sniper duel in this big like area. It's like a shipping crate type area, I think, if I remember correctly. And it was okay. Probably the least impressive subsection of the action set piece at the end. But I think overall the action in this movie does satisfy. It's fun. So, I mean, that's all that needs to be said about Undercover Punch and Gun. If I summarized it in a sentence, it would be this, basically. You know, if you like thinly plotted action movies with shorter runtimes and fun action scenes, check it out. I mean, that's, you know, it's a good flick. It's available streaming on YouTube, Tubi, and Amazon. Now, one thing I noticed while watching this movie is that it's a Mandarin dub track. Some of the actors spoke Mandarin on set, it looks like. Other actors were dubbed over in Mandarin, which is a little weird. You know, I don't like dubbing, really, in movies that much, but it's just something to keep in mind, and all I've seen is a Mandarin track for this. So, you know, I even checked the Blu-ray release online, and that also seems to be Mandarin dub. So it's just something to keep in mind. Not a big flaw or anything, but you'll notice it when you watch the film. But yeah, I enjoyed this, and if any of you have seen this film, let me know what you think. I think it's just a good little action flick to turn on. You know, it's good. And as always, folks, I'll see you next time.